Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all for being on this one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all for being on this one. Just want to talk at you, man. Shout out to NOLA.com. Just released an article with Gayle Benson, thoughts from Gayle Benson on the Saints and the Pelicans. I wanted to go over it with you guys. So y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you're on X, give us a retweet. Retweet this. Let's get this out to the rest of the Who Dat Nation. This is from NOLA.com. Gayle Benson addresses the struggling Pelicans and Saints in a wide-ranging interview. This is overdue. And they finally get her thoughts, so we can get her thoughts into the record currently with the state of both these teams and how they're playing. Both teams are failing. The Saints just won their first game. They're 2-8. Crazy enough, the Pelicans, I think, are 2-9 right now. So both teams really struggling and winning and being consistent. And what's the common element? Well, Gayle Benson will educate us on that, or at least provide us with the inside thought process. Now, here we go. This is Jeff Duncan now. Jeff Duncan did this interview, so we don't expect it to be a hard ball or any of this type of thing, right? So Saints Pelicans owner Gayle Benson conducted exclusive one-on-one with columnist Jeff Duncan. During a rare and wide-ranging 30-minute discussion, Benson was candid and forthcoming about the variety of topics, including the current state of both those organizations, the job status of Mickey Loomis, the job status of head coach Willie Green, negotiations with the state on a lease agreement at the Smoothie King Center, and discussions with the NFL on New Orleans' bid to host the 2031 Super Bowl. Here's the conversation. Number one, question. The Saints and the Pelicans are both off the historically slow starts. How would you assess their respective seasons so far? She said Willie Green responds to, and then of course they talk about the chance of Willie Green. Now, and it's bad with the Pelican side for those who might not be Pelican supporters, but it's pretty bad. Benson's response to the question is, I'm obviously not happy. I'm disappointed, and I would expect our fans to be disappointed. What we established over the last 2 decades with the Saints was a winning organization with an expectation to compete for championships every year. That is our goal, and that has not changed. That is what I expect, and it is what our fans expect. There is the reality that both leagues have rules to create parity and opportunities, such as the salary cap, and I certainly understand resetting that cap and rebuilding, but nevertheless, I want to win. My role is to hire the best people I can, give them the resources they need to win. It's also my job to hold them accountable. If we're not meeting our goals, my expectation for the Pelicans are the same. So let me comment on that she's disappointed. I don't know if Gayle Benson is disappointed or not, but usually disappointment will lead you to make wide sweeping changes when your organization is falling out. Since Sean Payton and Drew Brees left, the Saints have not established any culture of winning. This is the 5th straight year the team will be out of the playoffs. They're not drafting correctly. The higher picks have been bust. Trevor Penning, Davenport, all these and Isaiah Foskey, so on and so forth. It has not been a good thing. Since Gayle Benson has taken over the team, rest in power to Tom Benson left of the team, these teams have been sliding down into the pits of hell. Let's just be honest. So there's no accountability. We know that. There's no accountability because she doesn't have an identity for the team. She's using Tom Benson's people when she needs to have her own people. How does she get her own people? By going outside and finding a reputable firm, because they do this all the time, to go out, perform interviews, and tell them what they want to do, and then hire the proper personnel. Not going on with an old guy who's been past his prime, who hard-headed, who makes perpetual bad decisions, who's consolidating power, doesn't want to leave, doesn't want nobody to be the general manager, just want to sit on top of the team and just suck life from the team. And she don't see no problem with that. She don't see any problem with that. So how disappointed are you with the Saints season so far? I'm very disappointed, as everybody, but we're in a rebuilding mode. Mickey said this from the beginning of the season. He did not say that from the beginning of the season. Mickey Loomis did not say that the Saints was rebuilding. We covered every one of his pressers. He never said that they were rebuilding. They did everything they can to avoid saying the rebuilding term. And the Saints were actually trying to think that they were winning early on in the season. He did not mention he was rebuilding. So that is false. That is not correct, ma'am. But look, I understand how fans feel. No, you don't. I feel bad for the fans. Don't feel bad. Do something about it, ma'am. But we told everybody in the beginning this was going to be a tough year, and it's been a tough year. They just have to be patient. I know it's hard to ask them to be patient, but all of us are disappointed. You're not disappointed enough. Don't ask me for no patience, Gayle Benson. This is 5 straight years. You keep holding on. You're firing. First and foremost, the whole rebuilding process, it was Mickey Loomis who hired this guy, what's the name, the possum, Dennis Allen, for the last 4 years. It took the people to fire him. It wasn't Gayle Benson. She was forced because people wasn't showing up to the games, and she was forced to fire him. Mickey Loomis was sitting up there arguing with her to not fire the man. He on a 7-game losing streak and lost the team, throwing him under the bus. Never held Dennis Allen accountable for anything. Mickey Loomis is not held accountable for anything. Gayle Benson is not accountable for anything. All this rhetoric about feeling bad, I don't care about your feelings. You got the resources, fix the damn team, hire the proper people. So, all this feeling bad, they have to be patient. Almost feel like one of those situations like from history when you had the Queen, I think, of France something, and they was talking about the people starving and all that, and they doing bad. You remember what the girl said? She says, let them eat cake. Not actual cake, but that was a terminology that means eat dirt or let them eat dung or whatever. Just let them eat cake. And ultimately, that turned out bad for her if you look at it from a historical standpoint. But no, she does not know. She says, I mean, the whole office over here is disappointed, but we can't just jump ship just because we're having a horrible season. It doesn't work that way. We're going to have good times. We're going to have bad times. I'm hoping fans will understand, but they need to know that I'm very upset and very disappointed. Probably more so than them. No, you're not, because I'm taking the brunt of this. But I still want them to know I really care. I am doing everything I can. I mean, I'm giving them, the teams, every resource. I put all the money into the Superdome. No, you ain't putting all. What you talking about putting money in the Superdome, Gayle? What money you talking about you putting in the Superdome? The money that the Superdome committee had to basically out you of publicly to give up, which was like 20, what was it, 2 million, 20 million, or whatever it was, 5 million? Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat if you remember that. Remember that it was Doug Thornton and the Dome Commission that said that the Saints owed money, and they had to go public to shame the Saints to pay the money. And the great bulk of the money for the Superdome is not coming from Gayle Benson. It's coming from you, the actual supporters and the taxpayers of the state and the city. That's where the money is coming. The federal government, all this kind of stuff. That money has to get paid back at some point. Guess where it's coming from? From you. So whether you're a Saint supporter or not, you getting hit with the taxes that's going to those buildings down there. So she's not coming out with a big amount of money for those facilities. Not even for the training facility they work in. All that's taxpayer money. All of that is for the taxpayers. And they make even more money off those buildings, and they put their signage, the Caesar deal, they put their signage on the building, that goes to the Saints. All of that money goes to the Saints. They put signage, the Oshner signage and the sponsorship on the practice facility, that goes to the Saints. They got Oshner practice facility where the Saints and the Pelicans are housed. They put that sponsorship, they made money off of that. They make money off the Smoothie King deal. That goes to the Saints. So all this stuff about them putting money and she doing everything you can. You're not doing everything you can until you get your tail out of the way and let them people do their jobs. Joe Dumas, let him handle Willie Green. Let them fire Willie Green and stop getting in the way, because you're the one that's doing that. And then, of course, with the Mickey Loomis thing, Mickey Loomis is 20 plus years in the league. He's beyond his time. He's a dinosaur. Let people change the hierarchy of the team. Ma'am, please. Anyway, let me keep this thing going. She said, because I'm taking the brunt, but I still want them to know I really care. I'm doing everything I can. You're not. I mean, I'm giving the teams every resource. I put all the money in the dome. I'm getting ready to put some more money into the Smoothie King Center along with Champion Square. I've been talking with the governor, Jeff Landry, on a regular basis. We got a lot going on, and it's all for the benefit of the fans. The fans want to win, ma'am. We don't care about all that Champion Square nonsense, because most of us, we don't even go to that. We go right into the field, or we watch the games online. We don't care. We don't, all that champion stuff, ma'am, we don't care about that, because that's not going to matter anyway. If the teams are not playing up to par, nobody wants to see any of that. We're not going to want to go there and watch that. Question: Fans have expressed their discontent to us at the Times Picayune via emails, text message, and letters to the editor. How aware are you and other team officials of the fans' displeasure right now? I absolutely aware. I am not absentee owner who flies in just for games. I'm in the office and out in the community every day. I talk to fans and partners and our staff every day. We discuss and hear their frustrations regarding the performances of both teams every day. No one is very happy with either team's performances now, especially me. With that said, I am confident both teams are headed in the right direction, specifically the acquisition and development of our young players that are playing and starting for both teams. They will be our core for years to come. But again, I understand the frustration and the anxiety of patience. I believe in the plan and vision as we develop both teams and get our younger players that we have drafted on the field and on the court now. Question: do you receive letters and messages from fans? Yes, all the time. And they're very upset. And I am very upset, but I can't do any more than I'm doing. Yes, you can, ma'am. Ma'am, you most certainly can. See, and that's the issue. If she's out there, really, I don't know who she's talking to, but you really need to get the supporters, ma'am. You really need to make yourself open for interviews so people like myself that can really ask you the questions so you can't strip away our press badges because I have not. I don't want one. Have not applied for one. You want people that can actually ask you questions, real questions, as opposed to these coddling yes people, because there's a ton of these yes people around her telling her, oh, you're doing just fine. Ma'am, you're not. And there is a lot more that you can do. There really is. I mention ideas all the time that I should charge you for, but it's absolutely free. We all the time, and the great same think tank, the Who Dat Nation have great ideas. Mickey Loomis, it needs to be replaced as the general manager of your team. I gave a hierarchy update for the Saints. Dennis Lauscher needs not to be the president of football and basketball operations for these professional teams. He doesn't need to be that. He's a businessman. The man doesn't know anything about football on the field or basketball on the court. He does not know. He is wrong for that job. If you want to keep him as a business president, then delineate and make him just that and hire a football person to run that end of it and have a vice president or a president of football operations and let Lauscher be just a business guy, right? You need another brain above Mickey Loomis. You're not obviously going to get rid of Mickey Loomis. So all I can ask you to do is strip him of the GM title, allow him just to be the VP, let somebody else, in particular, Kai Hartley, climb to the general manager and allow him, along with the youth that you just talked about on the team, lead the team. You got old sourpuss up there, old dinosaur running stuff, man. You need fresh blood in the organization, a new general manager to go along with those young players. So that's not all you can do. You're not fixing it because the people you're hiring are responsible for why it's messed up on the Saints side. Now, on the Pelicans side, Joe Dumars is the correct hire, but then you won't allow him to get rid of Willie Green. We know it's you that's stopping him from firing Willie Green. Half the team has quit on Willie Green. He never regained the team, but since he's such a nice man, you won't allow Joe to do his job and get a coach. With that kind of half-ass thinking, that's why the season is in jeopardy because of you. So you're not doing everything you can. You're sabotaging this stuff. You need to get out of the way in that regard. The Saints need an update. They need a facial, structurally speaking, to their hierarchy. They really do. It's a serious field, right? So yes, and then, of course, here we go with this one. Yes, all the time they're very upset. These people, you said, these people that work for me, I respect them. They work very hard. You don't think Mickey Loomis is losing sleep? No, I do not. And right now, of all of this, he is. It's hard and it's not an easy job. It's not like he's sitting on his butt. He's absolutely sitting on his butt, not worrying about things. Mickey Loomis is the most unbothered person in the Saints building. You know why, ma'am? Because you afforded him the opportunity to be like that. You afforded him that. He is not missing any sleep because he is not accountable. He is thoroughly protected. You will not allow him to be fired. There's nothing he could do wrong where he can lose his job. He has ultimate job security. In my mind, he isn't losing in his sleep because he know he ain't got nothing to worry about. So what you talking about? Everybody know Mickey Loomis is untouchable, and that's your fault. Everybody should feel if they fail that they could lose their job. But you afforded an environment of sloppiness and non-accountability. Mickey Loomis is sitting up there. He's not accountable to anybody. He's smug. He's a fake elitist. He shoots off these little things and tell people they're not accountable because they don't agree. Excuse me, not accountable. That they're not qualified. That's his little terminology. They're not quite. You know, why now? These guys, they're not qualified to talk about me. What this dude is? Who allowed that? You know why I got this little fake sniveling elitist in there? Because you created the environment for him to be that way. You did, ma'am. Mickey Loomis is not losing any sleep over this team. I'll assure you he isn't. He's thoroughly protected and insured. He's not going to ever lose his job under your stewardship because that is not the definition of accountability. The question, the Pelicans are 150 and 188 and have not won a playoff series in Willie Green's 4 seasons. He go be about to shift the Pelican talk. There have been national reports that the organization is monitoring his job status. How do you assess the job he's done as the head coach? This is her response. I hired Joe because we needed a change in leadership at the top level of the Pelicans, right? I believe in Joe. Joe knows exactly the stats you noted. We need to improve immediately. Our roster is built for success right now. This is what she's saying. It's built for success right now. So all these people talking about they plan for the future, no, they hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I will rely on Joe to make these decisions and changes as he sees fit. And then he digs in, specifically as it pertains to Willie Green. How do you feel about the job he's done? I really like Willie Green. I told y'all. But I hired Joe to assess our basketball operation, and that's what he's doing. He's assessing Willie and all the players. He and I spent the entire halftime of the Portland game on Wednesday night talking. When he makes a decision, that's up to him. That's why I hired him. I trust Joe because I feel like he knows people. He knows Willie since he was a child, so they know each other, and that if he can fix that problem, then he'll fix it. If he can't, then it'll be his decision, not mine. I left it in his hands. Okay. Now this is good because before it's the reason why Willie Green is still here is not because of Joe Dumars. That has been Gayle Benson not allowing him to be fired. She stepped in several times this season to stop him from being fired. He was supposed to be terminated last year. David Griffin wanted to fire him and she protected him. She did that this year when Joe Dumars took the job. Word on the street is he wanted to clear house and allow new coaching staff to come in, and she stepped in and stopped the process. Now she's talking differently. She's speaking differently now about the process because probably this happened last night. She talking about all last night. They watched the Portland game, so a consensus must have been made last night. So if that is indeed the case, and not to Joe Dumars saying, man, listen, expect the firing to be coming real soon. Expected to happen real soon. Questions. Many fans have lost confidence in leadership of Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, switching back to the Saints, pointing to the club's lack of success without head coach Sean Payton. Benson says it may not be what the fans want to hear, but as far as firing Mickey Loomis, that's ridiculous. He does a great job. Mickey's been one of the top NFL general managers. He's a great job. He's done a great job. He got a bunch of rookies. He's got a new coach who just was a Super Bowl. I mean, what else can I do? What else can you do, Gayle? What you can do is remove Mickey Loomis from the general manager position and get somebody else. You want to talk about young and youth? You want to talk about young and remove him from the general manager spot and make him just a VP. He has 2 jobs. That's because you gave him job security. Replace him as the general manager. Let the assistant general manager become the new manager and allow Mickey to remain the VP because that's what you can do. If you really want, because that's what a lot of people are saying. You don't want to fire him. She's not going to fire him, but she's not even considering altering the structure of the team. So that speaks to her imagination and what she can do. Like she's like, what else can I do? I can't do nothing. No, you can shift your organization around, lady. Please. The man is beyond his years with this. He makes terrible decisions. He's a smug piece of garbage. Change the organization. Stop allowing him to be the general manager and just let him be the VP. I think a lot of people would be cool like that just for that to happen. I know I would be. I would love to have Kai Harley, the general manager there, as opposed to Mickey Loomis sitting up there suffocating with 2 jobs. Why does he need 2 jobs? When he's not good at either one of those jobs. Why does he have 2 jobs? But this is Gayle Benson. She don't even consider anything else. She don't have any imagination about how to when your teams are doing this bad, you have to restructure the hierarchy. How does Mickey Loomis and Dennis Lauscher, who's a part of that, not get fit into the restructuring? I don't understand that. Make me understand that. But this is the protection she provides for Mickey Loomis, who's totally unaccountable. He is definitely sleeping at night. Mickey Loomis is not bothered by none of this, man. And she's the reason. She says it's important to know that both Joe Dumars and Mickey Loomis report only to me. No one else in the building. I am in the office every day speaking with them. I'm in the locker room every day, win, lose, and available to them to provide whatever support they need to be successful. So, I mean, how would you answer the critics who say he's not held accountable by you and President Dennis Lauscher? They report to me. And who are you? Who are you? Gayle, they're only function by way of you. You're not accountable. You're not accountable at all, man. You're not even owning up to the mistakes and the errors and the issues the Saints repetitively make. You're not even looking at the real truth of how they draft and how the drafting is bad. Bad. You're not looking at just not anything. All you care about is the business end, about getting the arena deal done, the Super Bowl, because that's extra money in your coffers. Let's be honest. You're not considering any structural hierarchy changes, man. You're not even considering any of that, and that's why people are hardcore on you, because you're not going above and beyond. She literally telling the people, "I ain't nothing else I could do." No, you could do a lot more, Gayle. You could do a lot more. It is incorrect to assume that Mickey Loomis is not held accountable. I agree with everyone, including Mickey, that we do not have the record we want. However, I do see a team that is building for the future. While I am not nuanced in the details of specific football moves, I'm aware of what I see on the field. Our first year head coach, Kellen Moore, has the makeup to be a very special coach, and I'm excited about having him. I'm also very excited about our young players, the way they have played this year. It also appears we found a young quarterback in Tyler Shuck, who has the potential to start for us for many years. This sound rehearsed. I was so proud to see Tyler do well. I shared that with him after the game. He's doing a great job. I like that young man. So from what I see from my seat is a young team that's headed in the right direction. See, blind as a bat. Question say many fans believe Mickey Loomis is part of the problem rather than a part of the solution. Explain why you have confidence in Mickey Loomis' work as GM. Benson, this offseason, Mickey's managed the retirement of Derek Carr. Matter of fact, he didn't manage any retirement of Derek Carr. Derek Carr retired on his own. What are you talking about managed? And that was Mickey's fault, by the way. Mickey gave a blank check to Derek Carr behind that rotten posse, and that move stunk. They spent all that money on Derek Carr, and the Saints only have a 14-13 record. She continues, saving us 30 million in cap space. For real, ma'am? You gonna credit Mickey Loomis for that? It was Carr who retired because he did not want to be the quarterback with all that pressure on him. So no, Mickey didn't do that. Carr retired because of his circumstances. Mickey had nothing to do with that. He also traded Colin Sanders to the Jags for our current starting veteran center, Luke Fortner, who's played a pivotal role in the absence of Eric McCoy. I give that more to Kellen Moore than I do to Mickey Loomis. Kellen Moore wanted Luke Fortner, and he got him. Mickey Loomis is the type of general manager that if you're a head coach and you want a player, Mickey Loomis will go and get it. But you have to tell him, not him tell you. He will not meddle that way. So she don't even realize that. I know Mickey Loomis how he operates, and that's not how he operates. A pivotal role in the absence of McCoy following the season-ending injury. I told that Sanders was released by Jaguars. We currently hold 7 draft choices from the draft, all of which will help us continue to build in a young roster if the Saints draft correctly, which has been an issue with us. As far as the fans know, well, Mickey also oversaw 2 of the greatest drafts in 2006, 2017. Man, what have you done for me lately? Gayle, you ever heard of Janet Jackson? If you got a smartphone, get on the phone and Google the song, What Have You Done For Me Lately? And learn it very well. 2006 and 2017. Man, this is 2025. We're a month and a half from 2026. And you talking about 2006 and 2017. Man, what have you done for me lately? Seriously. I'm not, I appreciate those drafts, but if we do our jobs, fam, we don't have to sit here and talk about the 2006 draft and the 2017 draft, and we in 2025, almost 2026. What are we doing? not to mention leading the charge during one of the most challenging situations for the greatest free agent signing in professional and Drew Brees. Man, come on, bro. Drew Brees was awesome and excellent, but Mickey Loomis was a part of that. I give him credit for that with the Sean Payton thing. I give him credit for that. But that's out of all the things that he did. Look what he's done since Sean Payton. That was more Payton and Brees than it was Mickey Loomis. Because if he had that kind of gift, he would have hit right after Sean Payton. He would have found the quarterback and the coach. He wouldn't have stuck by Dennis Allen, even though Dennis Allen, we all knew was a bad head coach. Come on, man. Mickey is one of the longest tenured, most respected general managers in the NFL, so much so that he gets fleeced in picks and trades. In 2006, he was the lone voice in our building in Sean Payton. When asked to hold Mickey accountable, I do. Not every decision works out. They never do. That's why I'm sharing with you the body of work that Mickey has continued to make, making our team as successful over the years. I hold him in high esteem, and I'm very pleased with what he has accomplished, acquired, in this building. Man, Mickey Loomis needs to be retired, man. Ma'am, this stuff you talking about is old stuff, ma'am. There's football every year here, ma'am. The question, given the historical slow starts this season and the recent struggles of both clubs to make the playoffs, why should fans have confidence in the management and direction of the organization? This is what she says. Like I stated, there is the reality that both leagues have rules to create parity and opportunity. What does that mean? Fortunately, those rules in both leagues allow for quicker turnarounds than they used to if you make the right decisions. My role is to hire the best people I can give and give them the resources they need to win. I've committed millions to the state of art practice facilities along. Well, you made whatever you done, we did it doubly, Gayle, just to make you the richest person in the state, ma'am. Also take great pride in not meddling in the day-to-day operations, letting our football and basketball people do their jobs. Ma'am, that is not true. You're the reason why Willie Green's still here. You're meddling in the basketball stuff. We all know it's you over there. The people, when you have to meet when the Pelicans are on 0-6, 0-6 losing streak, they had to have internal discussions in the building about getting rid of Willie Green. And the main protagonist or the main villain that was stopping Willie Green from getting fired was Gayle Benson. So she does meddle. She meddles all the time, especially on the basketball side. She meddled when David Griffin wanted to get rid of Alvin Gentry. She meddled in that and forced him to keep Gentry that 1 year when he wanted to get rid of Gentry because him and Gentry didn't get along. Gentry doesn't like David Griffin. He didn't. When he got fired years later, matter of fact, a year or so ago, he went off on David Griffin on the interview. Put one in the chat if you remember that. But it was Gayle Benson who meddled in the affairs of the Pelicans and forced them to keep Al Gentry that year, that first year David Griffin came in. He wanted to fire Gentry. In the same way she interfered with Willie Green getting fired this season, if she did that, then she is meddling. She's been a meddler. She meddles in the Pelicans side. I don't know why it gives her the right to feel she can do that with the Pelicans and not the Saints. I don't get that part of the equation, but that is most certainly not true. That is a fabrication, man. You got caught, excuse the pun, with your pants down on that one because that is a total mistruth. You meddle all the time, especially on the basketball side. You meddling right now. I don't meddle in the day-to-day, take great pride. These people are delusional. And basketball people to do their jobs. And yes, it's also my job to hold them accountable. If we're not meeting our goals away from the field and the court, it's also my job to make sure our business operations are providing the best product for our fans. And this sounds very practiced. I committed $180 million to the renovation of the Superdome. Those are direct improvements for our fans that we know and we hear are well received. As I stated publicly, when we signed a long-term state lease, I made it clear that my next major priority was renovating the Smoothie King Center and bringing Championship Square up to a level that is the best in the NBA. I've already started speaking with Landry about this, which is the governor. While there are some fans facing issues at both the Superdome and the Smoothie King Center, such as concessions, see that? They've been listening. We've been talking about them $20 nachos and them $10 sodas. They're tripling and sometimes quadrupling the prices of some of those concessions to bank out, and the team sitting there smashed down in the cellar. but they still banking out. And look what she says. She addresses that. She says, such as concessions, we continue to work with ASM or correcting these so that our fans have the best experience possible. People been clowning about them $20 nachos. Question: where do things stand on negotiation with the state on the long-term lease with the Smoothie King Center? Right now, I was at the event where the governor was being honored with the Boy Scouts of America at the World War II Museum, and he pulled me aside and stated, we're going to get together and we're going to get this next deal done. I got it. She said, okay, I got it. So we're going to address this. Time is everything. You just can't jump from one project to the next quickly. We're taking a lot of money, and we're talking a lot of money, and we're talking about a lot of planning. We've been planning for a long time. We've been working on the Superdome lease for a long time. We finally got that settled, and we're going to work on the arena, and it's going to just the governor, and I don't want anybody else in the room. I'm going to be, she says, it's just going to be just the governor and I want nobody else in the room. Why you don't want nobody else in the room? Because you don't want them to hear what you asking for. And remember, a lot of these arrangements between the state and the Pelicans and the state and the Saints are wrapped up. The details are not allowed to be released to the public, because if you found out what kind of arrangement the state is doing with the Saints, you would be appalled. What kind of money that they're giving the Saints as opposed to fixing them streets in New Orleans? The kind of money that they're giving to the Saints as opposed to fixing the school system? The kind of money they're giving to the Saints and the Pelicans as opposed to doing stuff for the community, getting the infrastructure together? You would be appalled. You really would. We've been working on the Superdome lease agreement for a long time. Next question. Is there any update on where things stand on New Orleans and the 2023 Super Bowl? Have you met with Commissioner Roger Goodell? I met with Roger on a regular basis on different issues. He and I were texting in the morning. We're going to find out the Super Bowl in a couple of months, probably a couple of meetings from now. Our league meeting is in May, right? So she said they like to Super Bowls 4 years out. I think they're going to let us bid, even though we're coming in late. All of the owners want to come to New Orleans. As you know, and New Orleans can't have the Super Bowl every year because all the events that we have coming here. But the 2031 game is where we want it to be. His next question is, do you think it's still a possibility for the city after missing the original deadline? This is Super Bowl talk. I care not about that. If you want to learn that, you can go read it yourself. And then he asks, is it your understanding the league will work with New Orleans given the complications we have in certain years with Mardi Gras? And this is when he started asking about all this kind of stuff. So, and then the rest of the question is Super Bowl related. And then the final one is there anything else you would like to add? Yes, let me be clear about this. The teams are not for sale. So there you go for the people talking about, oh, hey, y'all, the guy from Raising Cane, he going to sell a team. This is what she's saying right now. Let it be clear. The teams are not for sale. That's in capital letters. I want everybody to know the teams are not for sale. This is Gayle's statement now. I'm getting tired of people asking me if they're for sale. I'm going to turn 79 in January, but I'm pretty healthy. I hear that people want to talk to me about buying a team. I'm like, well, that's a waste of my time. That's not going to happen. And people need to calm down about the team moving. And finally, I just want everybody to know that I'm doing everything that I can other than throwing the ball and catching it and getting the ball in the hoop. I can do. You're not doing everything, Gayle. I've said that on here. I'm giving the teams the money. I've done everything I can help these guys. In every game, win, lose, draw, both teams. I'm in the locker room. We come in here from the field off the court, and I'm hugging every one of them. Win, lose, I can't do any more than let them know I'm supporting them. I don't know what else I can do. Gayle, listen, start talking to people that know what they're doing, man. It ain't hard. The podcast on YouTube is called a Pelican Post Game Report. It's called a Sports Coma. It's called many different reports because it's not just my voice. It's a unified voice. All of the voices, all of the influencers, all of the podcasters, all of the terrific people that are consistently putting the work in the Who Dat community, all of them. Y'all know all of the greats that have been here for a long time. You know, the Sports Coma, Who Dat, my boy Randolph, my boy TJ, all of them consistently thorough, excellent people. Excellent people. My guy Matt Moscona over there at ESPN. Jake over there at the Pelican, Locked On. All these great people. All of them listen to what they're saying. Listen to what we're saying. Gayle, it is free game. You don't need to let nobody tell you that you got to pay money to. It's free game. If you don't know what to do, you need to get on these shows and start listening to what the people say, man. We telling you what you can do. There are plenty of things that you can do outside of going there and hugging on the players, ma'am. You're not their mother. They got most of them got a lot. They got parents, ma'am. They don't need you hugging on them, ma'am. What they do need you to do is to do the right things by creating the correct structure and stop meddling in the Pelicans' affair. Allow Joe Dumars to do what he wants to do and build the team. Because I'm telling you, ma'am, Willie Green is the reason why the Pelicans are losing. You need to You need to get rid of Willie Green, and you need to fix your health staff. That's another problem. See, the answers, these people don't want to hear these answers, fam, because they got weird business arrangements with these people. That's the God honest truth. They got weird. They got weird. That's the God's honest truth that's going on here. She don't want him to tell her that Oshner is a problem medically because the teams are dealing with issues. It's gotten better this year, but that's been a long-standing problem that we've seen with these teams and the health situations regarding our Pelicans and our Saints. These are two things. As far as the Saints are concerned, Mickey Loomis needs to lose his general manager position. There is no reason why he should be operating that position as a legacy man. Like only way Mickey Loomis leaves the general manager job is if the Grim Reaper come and take his wrinkled ass. I mean, you mean that's basically what this is. The only way Mickey Loomis leaves the general manager seat is the Reaper got to come and get him on up out of here. That's sad. That's sad, man. That's terrible. So I mean, like I said, if you don't know, hire somebody from outside the organization to do a thorough audit of your organization. Let them do an outside audit. Somebody that's not tied to your little trusted circle. You get what I'm saying, Gayle? I'm telling you how you can. I'm telling you straight from people that followed the team for years. Sportscom have been representing for years. Pelican Post Game Report for years. We're thorough, and there's a lot of people from our communities that are thorough. Listen to them and take counsel for them. It is free game. So that's what it is, fam. If y'all want to read it, I'm gonna let y'all go about y'all day. I just wanted to share this bit of information with you guys, as always. But y'all can feel free to hit that like button, man. Retweet this. If you're on X list, I know y'all out there, man. Retweet this. Get this message out, man. Because I've never seen it before, where we've seen such a consensus across the Who Dat Nation, across the Pelican, the community. I mean, the influencers, the national media, not the national, but the local media that cover the team, that know the team, the influencers, and everybody else are all complete 100% agreement about the Pelicans. And usually when it's like that, it is clear as day when you know what time it is. For you to say that you don't know what to do makes you as clueless as we already knew you were. You just confirm everything else. But if you're out there really meeting with the people, you need to start understanding what it is, because it's not hard, man. It's not hard. But anyway, I'm done. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the share button. Y'all feel free to share this show on your social media feed and retweet the hell out of this. I'm Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Listen, fam, I'm going to get at y'all on the next one, man. Listen, I'll be back later on the day to cover some more information on the Saints and all this kind of stuff. The Pelican post-game report tonight. We got a matchup, a game tonight. And we'll see how it all works. But in the end, man, we got to just keep the grind on and keep the message alive. Sooner or later, she'll get to it, I hope. Anyway, with that being said, I'm out. Much love, peace, Who Dat day.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic, NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.